I remember pretty early on in my life, I was dealing with a lot of anger management issues. And a really interesting Gestalt experiment that was recommended to me was when I feel this wave of anger coming up inside of myself, what's it like to not give that a voice, to simply breathe? And what I noticed was as I started practicing that, there was this adrenaline dump that would happen in my body, and I would literally start shaking. And as I would breathe, I dropped through a level of my body simply vibrating and not being able to hold the experience.
Mm.
And then I noticed that I felt scared and kind of naked and vulnerable.
Mm.
And as I let myself drop into that, that led to a deeper and deeper kind of an inquiry about where the defensive angriness was coming from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even what you're describing right now is something that I would associate with a pretty experienced Gestalt inquirer, where most people, when they feel anger come up time and time again in different situations, their first thought, if they're not trained in something like Gestalt Inquiry, probably isn't to breathe and drop into their body and start to peel back the layers that are beneath the anger. Their first response is probably to either act the anger out and experience the repercussions of that, or hold it in and sort of repress it and then act it out in unfortunate other ways in their life. And so what you're describing right now is the work that I'm going to be presenting in my upcoming Gestalt Inquiry workshop, which is giving people the tools when they experience different, whether it be challenging emotions or it could even be happy emotions, but how can they have a practice and a set of tools that they can hold space for whatever arises in their experience and be able to drop into the experience and discover more about themselves in the process of really entering that experience in an informed way.
Well, the value of engaging a Gestalt coach, whether it's over time in private sessions, one to one, or in a shorter workshop format like the weekend you're going to be presenting, is that, I never could have come to the point by myself at first where I would have even thought of that kind of an experiment. I
Mm.
just couldn't have. The complexity, the feelings were too compelling, and I just never would have considered, what if I don't give in to that? What if I needed the help of a coach, the guidance of a coach to get me to the place where I could shift perspective and actually start practicing something that I didn't even have the neural pathways in place for,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah, wow.
um, so in this weekend that you're going to be doing, I'm assuming that you're going to be giving people some simple practical tools for a beginning to come from a place of being curious
Mm.
about themselves and things that they can begin to do to shift their perspective in such a way that they can creatively experiment with different behaviors and potentially different outcomes in their lives.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.